Edo here, and my next guest reviewer is Teal Fristow, who is the designer behind Corporate America, Shadow Throne, and founder of Nothing Sacred Games. Great guy. He was super helpful in my campaign, and he's talking about Fairy Tale, which is a game I'd never even heard of. Super cool. Check it out. Thanks.
Hey everybody, this is Teal Fristow, and I'm here to talk to you today about Fairy Tale. This is a drafting game by Satoshi Nakamura that was most recently published by Z-Man Games. You may be familiar with drafting games because they've really become popular over the past few years because of games like Seven Wonders and Sushi Go. And Fairy Tale takes a different spin on it. It's actually an older game as well. So for those of you unfamiliar with drafting games, the basic idea is everybody gets a pool of cards. You look at your cards, you choose one to keep, and then you pass the remaining cards to your left neighbor. At the same time, your right neighbor is going to do the same thing, and they're going to pass you their remaining 4 cards. You're going to look at those cards, choose one to keep, and then pass the remaining ones to your left. And you're just going to keep doing that, so everybody's going to go around the table passing these cards until all the cards have been taken. And this is where Fairy Tale differs from those other games, because instead of immediately playing the cards that you draft, you're actually going to build up a hand, and there's going to be a separate part of the game where you're playing the cards. This is actually a mechanic that I use in my upcoming game Shadow Throne, which is scheduled to come out spring of next year, 2015. In Fairy Tale, when you have your hand of cards, it's a very simple mechanism. Everybody's going to choose a card and they're all going to play their cards at the same time. Cards are either going to give you points or they're going to take points away. And basically over the course of the game, you're just going to be building up a tableau. Certain cards are also going to require you or other players to flip cards over in their tableau. And cards that are flipped over don't score at the end of the game. So if they're positive or if they're negative, you don't get those points. Drafting a hand of cards really adds a lot to the drafting mechanics, which you may not be familiar with if you're only used to playing Seven Wonders and Sushi Go. One of the most exciting parts about it is that early in the game, if you see a cool card, if you're playing something like Seven Wonders, you may not have the resources you need to play that card. But if you're drafting a hand, you can take that exciting card and then spend the rest of the draft trying to build around that card. If it doesn't work out, you always just don't have to play it because you're not going to play your entire hand out. Also, the order doesn't matter, so you can sort of choose cards independent of the order in which you see them. In Fairy Tale, you're going to draft 3 times and play cards 3 times, and then at the end, you're just going to tally up score. Whoever has the most points wins. The scoring can get a little bit mathy, which might turn people off, but as long as you have some paper and a pencil, it's really not too bad. It's a really fun, fast, easy to learn game. Even if you're familiar with drafting, I highly recommend it because it has its own unique twist on it. That's Fairy Tale. Highly recommend you check it out. Thanks.
And that was Fairy Tale, reviewed by Teal Fristow. Lots of fun guests coming up. Please subscribe, share, and play some good games. Thanks.